You're listening to episode 93 of the Small and Supercharged podcast with Ria Freeman.
On today's podcast, I am really thrilled to be joined by a lovely friend of mine who's just a bit of an all-round legend, Belle Brocks, who you might know better as Annabel Brocks, and she's also the lady behind Hawkins Organic. Thank you so much for joining us today, Belle.
Oh, thank you very much for asking. My first podcast. It's very exciting, but also probably a bit nerve-wracking. But yeah, can't wait to do it.
You're going to ace it. So can you tell us a little bit about you and about how you got started with both Hawkins Organic and with Annabel Brocks, the brand as well?
Yep. So I'm 45. I live in Suffolk. I grew up, I was in Cambridge for a number of years, and then I travelled around the world and I lived in Sydney. And then I based myself in London. So nothing at all related to what I've been doing. I worked in marketing, I worked in events. And then I relocated to Suffolk, having unfortunately had 2 battles with cancer, which is really why I started both the brands. And I started them pretty much in the same month. I had obviously too much medication in hospital and thought it was a good idea to try and save the world and animals and do something different, which is why I started Hawkins. So it was all about kind of paraben free and natural grooming products for my own horses and dogs, and then it obviously developed into a range. And then the head warmers started off totally by accident. I was dealing with some fabrics with another job I was doing, and I thought, wow, that would be amazing as headwear, and that's where it kind of all started. So going for a bit of cushion fabric, I developed the head warmer. And so yeah, I had 2 companies and I had no business plan at the time, and it just kind of took off. So yeah, totally unrelated to my previous roles, which were, as I said, very much kind of office based and in the corporate world. So it's a whole new world to me, which I've opened up maybe a can of worms or 2 as well.
Yeah, well, I'm very pleased for the medication because I think both brands are incredible and they're really inspiring.
Oh, thank you very much.
So your Hawkins Organic brand, can you just talk to us a little bit about that? Because you said it was sort of paraben free, and you've got quite a few products now for horses and dogs and some people ones, haven't you?
Yeah, so we've got like a summer range. So we do like our lemonade, which is a lemongrass wash. We do obviously the shampoos, we do stain removers. And then in the winter range, we do the winter warmer, again, another no rinse wash. We obviously do, shampoos all year round for smelly dogs and horses. But the idea really was when I had the horses at home and I was bathing them, I was thinking, where is the water going into? And at the time we had like a little stream, and I was horrified of all the nasty ingredients and the fact that none of them were biodegradable. So it was really my own learning from using kind of new products after being diagnosed that I started to do research into all of the horrible things that are actually in shampoos. And so it was really wanting to use something that was, non-toxic, that the children could use. I said on our own animals, that's kind of how it started. And I had a little pop-up shop at the time, and I was trying to find products to, for animals. I had like a little doggy boutique, and at the time there was just nothing. And I was just horrified, as I said, the fact that the children were using them, and also inhaling some of the aerosols and some of the horrible things that, contain DEET and so on. So yeah, it's really about having had all the animals at home and me having a better understanding about some of the toxic things and how bad they are. And obviously, you put them on your skin and how your skin just absorbs it and it goes into the bloodstream. And as I said, I'm not a trained doctor or anything like that, but it was all my learnings through all my kind of chemotherapy and afterwards that made me have a completely new understanding of, I said, the beauty world, and obviously now kind of more slightly with well-being and nutrition. So yeah, that's Hawkins, and we've had an amazing journey with it. I mean, I started off, our first trade show was Hicksted, and I took a whole load of items, had no idea how it would do, and then the next thing we're working with Trevor and Caroline Breen, Alex Hardwick, Caroline Powell, like Burley winner, and it's amazing. So it's a brand that I think was new, people believed in us, and it had an authentic story behind it. It wasn't me just trying to sell a few shampoos out the back of the car. It was kind of genuinely wanted something that was effective for animals, and I love my animals to bits. So hopefully I kind of created something new, and I said it has been a journey that has really been done on a budget. We design everything ourselves in-house, even down to the labels. We bottle it all. Yeah, but I love it still. And every time, we get amazing feedback from people. I think, God, it's worth setting up. And, the children now want to take over the business in the holidays, earning money at shows, selling it. And I'm like, great. But also we've been in magazines against, some of the top brands, which I can't mention, but like Your Horse, Absolute Horse, Horse and Hound. The fact that we've been voted kind of best stain remover in the past, top shampoo, it's like, my God, I'm overwhelmed with the response we've had, which is why I keep doing it. So that's my lovely Hawkins.
I think as well, I know Zoe from Honest Riders stocks your products, doesn't she?
Oh, it's gorgeous, Zoe. Yeah, oh my God, her trade stands, all her stuff is amazing. But yes, I'm very honoured for her to be one of our stockists, because I think what she has done has been amazing as well.
She did a podcast with me quite a while ago now, and I was just open-mouthed at the stuff that she was talking about, how animal products that we use on our animals are tested on animals, and just things that I never even considered as a thing, which made me feel really stupid at the time, but you just don't think of it. And then when she was talking about it all, I was just thinking, oh my God, how is this not known?
Yeah, and to be honest, everything is first of all tested on me, and then like even down to all the dog shampoos. I'm like, Mike, have a shower and try it. And to be honest, I've got sensitive skin, but I'm like, right, Mike can use it, and if anything happens, he's quite robust. And really, that's how it started. Even down to the hoof gel, put them on my hand, and but yeah, why would I test it on the animals first? If there's going to be a reaction, I want to be responsible for that. But yeah, if you kind of read stories or said some of the ingredients in some things, and actually we've gone back to the basics, which is what I love, and I've worked with the most amazing company to help me develop it. I've come up with all the ideas, all the concepts, and one of my favorite things is to read all the ingredients, and it is amazing what all of these natural oils can do, and all the benefits. And so I was horrified as well, and that's probably partly the reason of me testing everything, I said, on humans before animals. I'd never test on animals.
No, I was just absolutely mind blown by it. I was like, I just didn't even think that was a thing. But it's good to know about these things, because then we can make more informed choices going forward.
Absolutely.
So now let's talk about Annabel Brocks, as in the brand and your good self. So it started off all with headbands, as you say, and how was that developed?
So we did head warmers. So the company's been going 6 years now, and we've had the most amazing response with the head warmers. And we obviously then started to do matching scarves, and we started to expand really because we were getting asked for products, and at the time there was quite a big gap in the market. So then I was always thinking, what do I need in my own wardrobe? And that's really where each product gets developed from. So things like gilets, again, I want to wear something sometimes out shopping or to the pub, and just kind of be a little bit glam. And obviously I put on a lot of weight with steroids during my treatments, and one of the things I wanted was to make people feel good. And I put on a lot of weight, and actually every time I put on my clothes, and even now, I feel a bit kind of better about myself. So that was really a kind of the starting point, was to develop a range that made people feel good about themselves. Obviously we try and make as much as possible in the UK using British fabrics, and it just kind of, I say snowball, but naturally the company grew. And I think that's because of our customers. They were so amazing. They were always asking me for new things, and I don't need any encouragement to buy new fabrics or to make new things, because I don't know why I say it comes naturally. That sounds big-headed, but I don't find it difficult. As I said, if there's something I'm missing, then why not try and create it? So that's really, how the company has expanded. But I have to say, we did have a lot of exposure. I will show off about this one, because one of my proudest moments was when Charlotte Dujardin, we met her at Your Horse, and she loved the head warmers, and then ended up doing a collection with her. And without her, obviously our company wouldn't have probably taken off so quickly, and it did literally go whoosh. We were literally on the front of the Times with her wearing them. It was Horse and Hounds, one of their best Christmas gifts that year. So I have to say I started with a head warmer, which I'm immensely proud of, but it was, Charlotte, it totally catapulting us, which was amazing. And and then obviously we've worked with other amazing people to grow it where it is today. And yeah, lots of new products. Some obviously have worked out amazingly well. Others I'm like, oh dear, not such a good idea. But I think you have to try everything, and
Right.
yeah, it's all exciting.
So your latest collection is called Nourish. And you've got some exciting news that by the time this comes out, you'll have just launched some new pieces. So can you tell us about the idea and the new pieces too?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started Nourish when I was going through treatment. I wanted to make a difference and try and do something and inform people of everything that I'd learnt on my journey, especially due to nutrition, well-being, and so really, I wanted to write a book, but my grammar, and everyone knows I always make spelling mistakes, years ago on my kind of cancer journey. And I kind of put that aside when I was re-diagnosed. But the Nourish, I don't know what it was, just I was thinking, what can I do to make some money, to raise awareness? And my shopping list is always the same thing when I order online. And it was the same products. And every time I kept seeing them, I don't know what it was, I just thought, actually, that would look quite good on a t-shirt, like bananas, nuts, etc. And they had double meanings. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to print them up on some sweatshirts that we were doing. And the feedback was really good. Obviously, I tried my family and friends first of all. And I thought, actually, this is something great. And then I spoke to the cancer charities, and they were just like, oh my goodness, it's amazing. And you know, the fact that I had Macmillan come and meet me at home, and they're like, this is an amazing idea. I thought, wow. So that's really kind of the start of it with sweatshirts. This year is very exciting. We're going to be launching more t-shirts, and we're starting a summer collection. Now, some of them won't be released until April, but my new one for next week is passion fruit. So a lot of people are like, what does actually a passion fruit look like, apart from on a porn star martini? But they are something that I've had in my own shopping basket for a long time, and they are just amazingly beneficial. So passion fruit is my new product. And yeah, so I just kind of always try and think of something that, I said, is really rich in antioxidants, I said vitamins and so on. And although I said I'm not a doctor, all of the ingredients I've chosen for the range do have beneficial things. If anyone is on a diet that, as I said, it is kind of governed by some of the oncologists and nutritionists, they normally mention these products. So I feel that there's enough research. And again, I suggest anyone Googles them themselves. But yeah, I'm really proud of what I've created. And obviously we're raising money for Macmillan and breast cancer now. That's just been rebranded. And the children's collection is children with cancer, and hopefully some more. But I just wanted to, as it have a bit of a change in direction and actually feel that I'm making a difference with what I'm doing. And yeah, I can't change the world, but if I can just make a little bit of money towards, I said, cancer prevention, research, and also inform people of what I've learned on my journey. And again, I had no idea about the benefits of food. I'm not saying I was really unhealthy, but my diet has totally had an overhaul. And, you know, hopefully I'll be here for a long time, but I'm sure my skin and, you know, how I'm starting to look now is all down to food. And actually just, as I said, making a few little changes. So yeah, even some of our customers on the trade stands are like, oh, what does that do? And I tell them, and they're like, oh my goodness. And yeah, and it's fun. Do you know what? I want this journey to be fun. As I said, I've had 6 years of hopefully a lot of fun, but have been obviously downs of having your own business. And I think this is quite, you know, it's not going to hopefully offend anyone. And as I said, if I can make a difference, then that is my main goal now. So yeah.
Are your products also like organic cotton and that?
Yeah, they are. So they're organic cotton, and the sweatshirts have got recycled polyester. So again, I'm trying to obviously go down a sustainable avenue, and yeah, as much as possible, as I said, is either recycled, or we definitely want to use, as I said, as many organic materials as we can. And yeah, we've got kind of lots of new things on the horizon, hopefully, that will incorporate as many I don't know, reuse bottles, whatever we can find that can have another use to be made into garments is definitely something on the agenda. And even down to our swing tags, we have those printed in the UK on recycled cards. and packaging. So I think all of that, it's not just now the materials, it's the whole product and what goes in it and around it, I think is really important to me. And I know to others as well. So yeah, and that's always been an ethos with us as a company.
I think it's what businesses like yours show, that you can have that kind of luxury and the lovely and not be damaging on the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it, you know, it does cost a lot more money. But again, I love it that our swing tags are now printed in the UK. I've always tried to support local. But yeah, as much as possible, we have printed here. And again, we're always rethinking of packaging, and I'm always trying to kind of research things. And I think everyone is slowly changing. So some companies, they say, well, actually, we can't afford it because we haven't got enough demand. But I think that is changing. Even down to things like bubble wrap now, you know, let's try and use something that's recycled. And again, we try and, you know, reuse everything in the office as much as possible. And that's the good thing about Hawkins. You know, our customers don't mind it when their horse products are perhaps packaged with, you know, things that I've got, you know, at home, whether it's just something that's come from Amazon, God forbid, or wherever. We try and be as eco-friendly as we can be.
No, that's brilliant. Now, you talked about the kind of highs and lows of running a business, and I thought we'd start with a few lows perhaps, and then go up to the highs. So can you tell us any lows? Because, you know, this business journey, we like to show the highlights, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, isn't there?
Absolutely. I mean, if people sometimes saw what went on, and actually listening to your podcast is quite, sometimes thank goodness, and not in a horrible way, like thank goodness, but it's not just me. The lows can, at certain times of the year, like Christmas, things go missing, unreliable couriers. We've had that in the past. I mean, that's just a tiny thing. Obviously, you have got cash flow because we do things wholesale. So you're kind of upfront, you know, huge investment, which again can be very scary. We've also had, and I know that you've kind of touched on this before, but you know, we have had people copy us. I've heard a couple of your other interviewers mention that. So that has been a major downside for us. And first of all, it's happened quite a lot. It's really, really gut wrenching. And, you know, annoyingly, it's always when there's a lot of people around and you can't suddenly sit down and cry, but I'm like, oh my God, what's happened? So I would say the lows for me over the last 5 years have been when people blatantly copy, because you think, why am I doing this? And as I said, that has, and I'm not going to take that lightly, again, on Instagram and all of our social media, we have to act like everything's all rosy and it's all perfect. It's not. And I need to say that to people. Anyone starting their own business will find a number of challenges. So that has been a negative. I always try and find a positive out of a negative and the lows. You know, the fact I'm still here after 2 journeys with cancer, every day is a blessing. And some days, as I said, things will happen where you're like, oh, why am I doing it? It could be a power cuts. We've had a few of those when it's windy. Again, not great when you've got a load of orders and urgent things going out. But I also try and think, does it really matter? Will people mind? And actually our customers are pretty good. But I would say, yeah, sometimes people getting inspiration from us really blatantly in other areas can be a little bit upsetting, especially when you go to a trade show and suddenly everyone has got a similar trade stand. That can be a little bit interesting. But we're just trying to move on. Do you know what? We get inspired by all sorts of things. So we're not the only ones. But as I said, I would say that has been a low. And yeah, and I've made a few mistakes with products where I thought, oh my God, that's amazing. And then it's been a disaster, or we haven't been able to get the materials. Obviously, we sample a year and sometimes longer in advance. And then you go to place a big order to manufacture and they've stopped making it. And you think, oh dear. And we have had manufacturing issues along the way, quite majorly. But again, that just makes me think, right, we need plan, not just B, we need C, D, E. And I literally have now a little black book, hopefully geared up. So yeah, there's been a huge amount of things that have gone wrong in my journey. And I try now, just as I said, learn from everything and just, yeah, make sure I have everything covered. And maybe in the past I've been a bit too trusting and naive. I still am at times because I'm quite a kind and laid back person. But yeah, I would say that those have been some of the lows.
I think as
but
well,
hopefully a few highs come along.
I think though as well, what you said about trying to turn a low into a high. I know I have worked with Belle in the past, and I know what's incredible through any low is the customer support you get, and how your customers are absolutely like team AB, whatever. And I love that so much.
Do you know what? They are amazing. And I can say it on here because I like to be honest, but we had a bit of an issue only last week where obviously we run both companies from here, and sometimes it's too much chit chatting, normally from me. I don't do all the packaging, but this particular day was, and now I know why she'd be banished. And one customer received a sweatshirt when she was supposed to have winter warmer, and vice versa. And you know what? They have both been so amazing. We're like, look, we'll email you labels. But, you know, our customers, they are just so accommodating, and, you know, mistakes happen. And I think that's in any business. If you actually put your hand up, or if you realise it's happened, you say, look, I'm really sorry. Do you know what? People understand. And, you know, we just then try and look after them and offer a discount or pop a little freebie in there. But that is what has made this journey so enjoyable. Definitely. And yeah, even when there are lows, as I said, to have our customers almost at the right time just coming along and sending an email or a little card, you're like, that's why I do it. And let's kind of move on from all the, I won't swear, but the not very nice things. And and life's too short, really. As I said, you know, I think certain things are good in our life at certain times, and then we have to just try and, as I said, move on. But I can do that quite happily with my lovely customers alongside me.
So now we've talked about the lows, let's talk about some highs. Obviously, Charlotte and working with her was definitely a high.
Oh, a huge high. Absolutely. I think that has been, and as I said, around that, and I will show off, I don't very often, but to, you know, go to Carl Hester's yard to a photo shoot with Allegro, Florentina was just, I mean, I still look at the photos and the outtakes on my phone. I'm like, what an opportunity. And the business was getting quite busy then, just on its own kind of merit. And it just, yeah, it's times like that you look back and you think, wow. Mary King, you know, the Tapners, all these people we've worked with. So now, you know, when we have show Burley, for example, these, you know, you forget they're the top riders, or Caroline Breen, the pop on the stand. Hi, Belle, how are you? It's like, oh my God. And like, you get all the little fans stop and, oh, can I have your autograph? You think, wow, these are people that we've met through the journey who have just been amazing. So I would say, yeah, definitely Charlotte. And I said some of the event riders we've worked with, and following all of their progress has been a huge high. We've done really well with the trade stands. And again, that's pretty much Mike and I building everything. We do it all ourselves. So we got best trade stand at Royal Windsor, which again was a huge accolade for our area, which was the lifestyle and fashion. We had best trade stand at Hickstead. And all the press, I'm not very good at sharing it, but again, all the magazines we've been in, Horse and Hound, Your Horse, Absolute Horse, Cosmopolitan, You Magazine, to name a few. For a small company who, again, we pretty much do everything ourselves, has been a huge high. You know, we don't have a massive team working around us. So I would say they're probably the biggest highs. And then on design side, I worked with Cheltenham Racecourse. So I designed headwarmers and scarves for them a number of years ago, and went on to do it for Huntingdon Racecourse. So again, to have a collection for them was amazing. And yeah, so I'd say they have kind of been my key highs. And really just seeing my products on our customers is a high. It doesn't matter whether they're high profile or not. I love seeing people tag their products, whether it's AB or Hawkins. It's something I've created from being ill. So do you know what? That is a high to me.
Definitely.
Yeah, that is a huge high, to be honest.
So can you tell us anything that is to come with Annabel Brocks or Hawkins? Obviously, we've got all the Nourish products to look forward to, but is there anything else you can tell us about that we need to keep our eyes peeled, or do we just need to follow you very closely on social?
Oh, yes, please do follow us. I would say at the moment we're trying to kind of stick with what we do and what we think we're doing quite well, in terms of designs that have sold well. We've just had consistent feedback. And also some of them we only launched at the end of last year. So really, I think this year is time for them to be properly promoted. So we've got a new Southwell bag coming out that is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. They have done really well. The tote bags, again, all made in the UK. And then the Nourish range, again, we've got some kind of seasonal items coming out, and again we hope to expand on this, but I don't also want to do too much because I think then people get bombarded. So I would say Nourish is key for this year, and then autumn winter we've got some beautiful fabrics that we will be hopefully making our gilets and capes into. Again, they've been amazing sellers for us, and we want to almost narrow it down to our classic kind of country collection, and obviously our kind of more mainstream with the Nourish and the AWOL range. So yeah, not doing too many things, just as I said, enhancing what we've got already. And then with Hawkins, I'm getting asked all the time for new products, but again, some things actually you can't make with natural products. So I think with that, I just want to carry on focusing on what we're doing. We might do a few other little bits and bobs, but again, I just feel we've got a really good collection, and actually we don't need to do too many more and dilute it. I think it's, we've got a really good following, always have repeat customers, but there might be a few little things I try. And actually what's nice with the Hawkins product is, some of them are dual purpose. So for example, like the winter warmer, I used to use to like clean out the lorry or to actually wash off my tack. And I wouldn't have said condone that with everyone and their posh tack, but like grubby head collars and things like that, and cleaning your boots. So I almost kind of want to make sure that every product is kind of given a full description and the recognition it deserves. And so I'm not keen to do too many things. I only have so many hours in a day. That's the other thing. I do like to really balance now as much as possible my life, and I've really as I said, worked very hard and dedicated everything to both businesses, but I think now it's time to almost let things just kind of go their own way a little bit, and it's not I'm slowing down necessarily, but I'm just taking my foot off the gas slightly, because I've got back into riding and I want to be doing that and fun things. So that's
really
me.
cool.
I had quite a long break, and I'm not the best rider, but I absolutely love it. It's my tonic, and it keeps me hopefully a bit saner. So that's the thing. I don't want to do too much. So I would say Nourish, it needs a lot of work. We want to try and get as many, but influencers, celebrities on board. We have hopefully got some really good collaborations coming up and endorsements from hopefully a few well-known people kind of in the areas of wellness that I kind of follow and I'm totally inspired by. So actually, do you know what? I really want to, enjoy that journey and just not do too much. I think sometimes you can spread yourself too thinly and not do things properly. Maybe that's one of my learnings in the past. I've done too many things at once, and now I just want to really focus on the things that I've got and actually do them justice. So that's my plan.
I love that. I think we're all guilty of that though. We can get swept along and we can spread ourselves too thinly. We don't realise it's happened until it's kind of over happened, if that makes any sense at all. We just keep...
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think January is always a really good time to reflect. I said a lot of people are like, oh, I'm all down. It's like, I love it. I said it's quieter in the office. I can actually, look at what has worked previously, and I actually go back to kind of every year. What has been a highlight? What's been a, as I said, headache, and structures, processes, and all of those things. And I think it's really important to get that right. And as I said, the balance. I'm 45. I'm not 30 anymore, and I don't have as much energy for certain things. And actually, I want to make sure that that energy is channeled correctly. And for most people that know me, I can be a bit aloof and like go at a million miles an hour. And I've actually thought, I'm more productive now, slowing down a bit and stopping and looking at each project and having a proper strategy. And actually I enjoy it more. I think when you have your own business and there aren't any procedures, it's quite difficult to, as I said, to be as efficient. But as I said, Mike is amazing at that, and other people that work with me are hopefully teaching me things. And So yeah, it's about, as I said, regrouping, and that's kind of my focus, as I said, for the business and for me.
Right.
I really just, as I want to make sure that I get the balance right, and I think we all can if we make that a priority.
Yeah. And I've noticed
So,
as well recently, your Instagram stories are superb.
Oh, do you know what? I hate actually people seeing me, because I'm like, oh God, I'm not into all that. But just behind the scenes, just trying to kind of share, about me as a person, because I do get asked, people want to know why I've started Nourish or what I'm cooking. So that side of it is something I'm really keen to develop more into. And I'm going to try and do a blog, and actually all the things that I keep hearing all the people in your podcast and everything people are doing. It's like, right, I can do that. And I actually want to. So again, if I step away sometimes from developing too many products, but actually tell people, and, as I said, it's fun. I like to learn. And that's kind of something this year is to, as I said, put some time aside to almost retrain in certain things, and technology I'm hopeless with. So I just need to up my game with that, really. But yeah, as I said, the Instagram stories, I think, just quite, sometimes funny, sometimes maybe boring for people, but it is sometimes my life. And I think it's good to show behind the scenes and, where everything happens.
And food goals,
And it
a
won't.
lot of food. And I love it. I mean, it actually ties in really nicely to Nourish.
Well, that's kind of why I started to do it. And I did think, do I set up another account? Or I did some videos cooking. Actually, they were quite amusing, of just, not such a tidy kitchen. And my friend's like, you've got to do it. And I'm like, no, because I actually I don't want it for the limelight, but it's just to sometimes show people what you can make. I do cook a few things at once sometimes. But I love food, and it's kind of something at the end of the day that I really enjoy, especially in the winter months, thinking, right, what am I going to do tonight? And I don't know, I love learning. And I said, food and nutrition is just, it's a minefield. But as I said, yeah, so people will see more food. Some people may unfollow me if they don't like it, but I'm hoping that I can kind of do a few food hacks and, shortcuts of how people can eat well. But as I said, it doesn't always take hours and hours in the kitchen or hundreds of ingredients. So yeah, I love doing my foodie things. Hopefully I don't bore people, but
No, I love it.
also
I
I
love
don't like
watching.
doing the hard sell. Oh,
No,
well, I
I
might do some
love
more of it.
watching.
Oh, that's good. I've got a fan, but I just think, yeah, the hard sell of, oh, here's one of my head warmers, or it's not me. But obviously I've got to try and do that to let people know about the brand. And yes, of course I've got to sell products, but I'm hoping that Instagram, as I said, will just, I don't know, just keep people entertained maybe, and just show something that's authentic. It's not going to be all, me with all filters all over my face. I don't even know how to use half of them. And yeah, I think
you don't need filters. You don't need filters. Don't get me on that. Don't get me on there. But no, I think it's a lovely connection to Nourish, though, as well, that you are a real foodie and you're passionate about it, because the what you create doesn't just look beautiful, but it's got those important ingredients as well, hasn't it? So it does all
absolutely. Yeah, and that's really, as I said, the key ones that we started with: the bananas, the nuts, the rockets. They are all things I have, on my shopping list weekly, and I cook with all the time. And I love to have Thai food and Asian, and as I said, I love zesty and colourful. I love kind of the rainbow on my plates, and I enjoy it. As I said, it's something that I used to cook, but I think now just the amount of cookbooks and information, I said, that's kind of the main thing I look at on Instagram, is kind of foodies. I'm inspired by it. I'm not inspired necessarily about a dress or a pair of boots or anything like that. I love learning, as I said, nourishing, and that's why I have called it Nourish. It nourishes your soul, your mind, and actually cooking is just a really good distraction. I said, after a busy day in the office, I highly recommend it to anyone who, wants to just switch off. You put your tunes on, and I love it, as I said. And I think also I love the reaction if I try something new from people. I love just to always host, and yeah, I'm not always going to get it right. There's obviously a few disasters, and sometimes I leave something in the oven and it gets burnt, but do you know what, that's about the journey, isn't it? And yeah, I enjoy it. And so yeah, I love my food.
Well, it's been amazing talking to you. Can you tell us all the places where people can find Hawkins and Annabel Brocks online too?
Oh, I should have practiced all that. So maybe websites are probably the easiest because I can't remember all the handles, but it's hawkinsorganic.com and Annabel Brocks is annabelbrocks.com. And then actually, I'm being really lazy, Rhea, and not very professional, but if actually you go onto both of those, they should have the icons, because my Instagram, I think, is Annabel_Brocks, because some lady in a random country set up one trying to emulate our brand. So I've got a random one, but just go on to our that's another story, just go on to the websites, and it will click through, and hopefully you can find out more about both brands from there.
I'll pop them all in the show notes as well. I'll link.
Thank you, Rhea. You're amazing as always.
No problem at all. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been lovely to chat. I'm so excited to see everything that you do and how it grows and develops.
Oh, thank you, Rhea. And I must say, your podcast and all the people that you've had on and all the things that you do have totally inspired me as well. So I said, it's my favourite podcast for when I'm in the bath or just chilling out. And you should also be really proud of what you've done, because you are definitely getting people on the right track. So thank you very much for having me. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. She's such a sweetie, this one. She's such a superstar. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rhea.